guys, long time no see. It's Tiffany and Erin back with another creative flow. So if you've been following us on this flow journey, this is all of the goodies that Erin sent to me in the flow journal. And now we're going to see how I use them. So what I will tell you is the very first part of the video was on one day, and I was not feeling where it was going. So I left it in just because I think sometimes we just have to step back and go like, okay, this is not what I need to be working on, or this is not going in the place where I'm feeling inspired right now. So I kind of left everything out, went to work, came back the next day and tried again, and I feel like things worked a little better. But as you see, I'm just picking through, and remember the rules of creative flow is each of us has to use 3 of the pieces excuse me, that were sent in the creative flow. We can use other elements in there, but we have to use a minimum of 3. And that was a little stencil. It was clear so you could barely see it, but you have to use at least 3 pieces from the creative flow. So I'm just kind of going through and looking at patterns and colors and seeing what kind of speaks to me and what inspires me. And I've already cut out a little fish, and all I kind of knew was that I wanted to use a tea bag. If you're not following me on Instagram as southern_gals_designs, you can follow me on Instagram. But if you're not following me, I'm doing a challenge in January. Sky, a beautiful artist in a group that I'm in, she challenged the group to do 31 days of tea bags. So some type of tea bag art that you do 31 in the month of January. So I've been very consistent thus far in completing mine every day, and I wanted to definitely kill 2 birds with 1 stone, so that's why I use that base of a tea bag. Now when I do my tea bags, I typically will let them steep and like just kind of sit overnight, and then the next day I will take them out and just lay them out and let them dry naturally. Or if it's warm outside, you can put them outside, and I guess if it's cold then it's probably going to freeze. Well, it's been really cold here for us southern folk down south of the Mason-Dixon here. It's been a little chilly for us. But anyway, as I digress. So you want to make sure that you let those sit and dry. And what it does is you can see on this tea bag how it has the dark like spots. And guys, here shortly, I just come to terms that this is not going to work for me. So I grab, you'll see, I just kind of just play around, and then that's why I'm not talking you through it. I just kind of chalk it up to this isn't going to work, and I'm going to go on to something else. So, but my point is that by letting the actual tea sit in there till it dries, you'll get the darker like vintagey more spots, and then once the tea is dry, you just take the tea and remove it out. And for this one I split the bag open. You don't necessarily have to do that. I've done the very first day of the challenge, I did not. So now we're back for day 2, and this is when the real project comes into play. And as you see, I took a different tea bag because I used the other one for the day before, and you can see like the dark. I love the dark colors, and of course, Tiffany being Tiffany, I really had no clue as to what I wanted to do. All I knew was that the day before it wasn't working. So I was thinking, I saw something on Pinterest like rolled paper art, like where you roll up the paper. And so originally that's kind of where rolling these little scrap pieces came from. And as you can see, there was no real skill to it. You just roll the paper up and the pattern will be on the outside. And by gluing it down and that paper being like tissue paper, it was kind of, it kind of like smooshed down, which I was okay with, but just know that it's, unless you use like a stiffer paper, it's not really going to hold its circular motion. So I probably could have come with the same effect just by cutting the piece of paper, but you know, sometimes you just got to try something new, right? We're in a new year. We're going to try new things and see what we like and what we don't like. So made it into like a cylinder, kind of like a drinking straw. And I just kind of wrapped it around there using my Oohoo glue stick. And you can see that I had it going where the roll paper were on top. You'll see here shortly I end up flipping that around. And I wanted one or two more pieces of paper, so I'm digging back in my flow. And I'm just going to cut off a piece and see. I really love this challenge. Me and Erin's really, I know for me, I've learned a lot about not just going to the same old, because I'm forced to use different materials that are not mine, or not necessarily in Tiffany's color palette, and it kind of pushes you to go outside. So if you haven't checked out Erin's channel, please make sure I'll link it below. Make sure that you go over there and watch what she does with the materials that I sent her. And now what I'm showing you is I took that seahorse stencil and I traced it out and put it on the top. So now I'm thinking maybe his tail can curl around at the bottom, but that, remember that seahorse paper came from Erin's Flow Journal too, and she also sent me that stencil. So far, I haven't used any of my materials at all. I'm just strictly going by the flow. Now, that's the, whatever that paper was made out of, it actually held up a little bit and was a little bit harder, so it made like a circular thing. But then I was like, hold on, what if I wrap his tail around it? So I popped that thing off just a minute. And then I wanted to use some type of, because you know I love a good texture, and so I was like, I'm going to use these needles. There are cross-stitch needles that I got at Hobby Lobby. Use those coupons, ladies. And I used just some black DMC floss, and I thought this would give a little interest to it, and kind of be texturized as well. So I'm just going to go through and just tack a few little hand sewn marks on. And it's kind of, if you're trying to keep those circular, those roll papers, it's kind of hard too, especially when you're having to press down on it. So I tried to get it close to the camera so you guys could see, but I'm just using just a straight stitch there. By the way, your hand catches a cramp if you do that too very long. Oh, 2008 is going to be great, guys. And then I decided it needed a little black stitching over on the other side. So I just, and the Teabag is fragile, so I was trying to be as easy as I could without pulling the whole stitching through. And you embroidery people, don't be laughing at me. I don't really know what I'm doing, but what I always do is just put some masking tape on the back. I know y'all are laughing. I'm laughing at myself. And then I'm like, okay, I can envision kind of what I'm going for here. But I still wanted that little rolled up piece to go in his tail. Because, little seahorses, they hook that tail and that's how they stand up. So I'm taking my Lyra graphite water soluble pencil just because that's what I had close by. You could use anything really. And I just want to kind of darken and make this more of a shadow and less of a Tiffany cut this thing out of a piece of paper and stuck it down. So that's what I'm trying to do, is just increase a little of the shadow to it and make it look a little more dynamic and less flat. I think I achieved that. That's anytime you're going to do like a cut of something, and this again was something that Erin sent me out of the flow, and all I kept seeing when I looked at this was like little greenery coming from the bottom of the ocean floor. So I love the colors. I'm not sure what she used there, but it's like maybe like spray. I think maybe it's spray. It's got mica flakes of some sort that are gold in it. And then I'm really digging it now. You can't really see necessarily the stitching that I just did that almost gave me a hand cramp. But I like how it went. Sometimes you just got to cover things up. And so I'm just playing with what I like or don't like and seeing how that's going to look. And now I'm going to take that rolled up piece of paper. It's to a point now where I'm thinking, okay, I feel confident enough that I can stick it down. The Uhu glue stick was not heavy duty enough to actually hold the paper roll and the seahorse and everything else I had going in the bottom there. So I'm going to grab my matte gel medium by Liquitex. It's quite thick, and I knew that it could do the job and hold up. So use whatever you have. It probably, I could have done like E6000 or something like that. And then I'm just going to stick that on the body part of the seahorse. And this is something different for me, so I really liked it. And then I'm going to just attach that quote, air quotes, greenery that I had cut apart and kind of create a dimensional type look there. And then I'm like, it still needs something. So I turn off the camera and I look at it. And I decided you can never go wrong with a little bling, right? So I'm going to add a little of the gold leaf using matte medium and just sticking some of the little bits and bobs of gold leaf to the bottom. I'll link the brand that I got. I got a ton for like $7 or something like that. So I'll link that below. And then I just kind of dab it on there. I don't know if there's really any like how you're supposed to do it. Y'all know I just make up stuff. So I'm just going to pop it on there and let it dry for a few seconds. And then I'm going to go back with a brush and just kind of, because I don't want a big blob of it. I just kind of want it to be like a little hint of a gold pop. So my seahorse is just roaming around the ocean with little brilliant gold mica flakes going everywhere. Love it. And you can see the shimmer there. So guys, I thank you so much for joining me. Please, please go check out Erin's channel and the Creative Flow. Give me the subscribe button and the thumbs up.